Hello. You look very mod.
Thanks.
I dig it.
All I've had in my head for like 2 days is, hey, Mom, it's the 60s. And the entire time. And they said nothing about it being the 60s. That was last season.
Just the calendar. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 4, Episode 1, Rumble on the Wonder Wheel.
I'm so excited. I love this show so much.
So we just caught me up on Season 3.
Yes.
Which I loved. It was very good. I am a huge sucker for Amy Sherman-Palladino.
Apparently same. I don't know or didn't know how much I liked her.
So I watched Gilmore Girls mostly live and mostly all of it. There's like 10 episodes at the end of season 7 that I've legit never seen. I just sort of stopped and never went back, but then I watched A Year in the Life and I watched Bunheads and I really like her. So that is sort of my history with her. I like her dialogue. I like her female characters, even though they're a little toxic sometimes.
But I mean, who amongst us?
So is this the only one of hers that you've watched?
Maybe. Yeah, because I haven't seen Gilmore Girls. I can't
it's hard to say.
Gilmore Girls.
There you go.
And I did not watch Bunheads.
Bunheads is so cute because Imogene from this was one of the lead characters on Bunheads.
Was Sutton Foster in Bunheads?
Sutton Foster was the lead character on Bunheads.
That's what I thought.
And your doppelganger, Janine from So You Think You Can Dance, she was on Bunheads as well. She was very good. It was a really good show. It was super cute. I liked that one a lot. I was really bummed when it got canceled. Basically, all that to say that we are starting coverage now, and we also got news that it's been renewed for a 5th and final season. So we will likely be back with that as well when it happens. So, but for now, season 4, episode 1. Okay. We are right off the heels of Midge getting fired from the Shy Baldwin tour.
Oh my God. Girlie has a full panic attack. And I just love because have you ever been in one of those moments or in like something so bad happens that you just kind of like go away? But then like the laughter kind of brings you back into your body because your body doesn't know what's happening.
Yep.
So her just like spacing out and then all of a sudden just in hysterics laughing.
Just like little bubbles of laughter, like 3 times it happened.
Yep. And then it just goes right back into her body. And Susie is like, what the entire fuck?
Like, do you need a pill?
I mean,
she does. Midge needs Midge is probably on a lot of pills.
Yeah. And then she throws her hat out the window and she has that gorgeous white suit and hat.
Yeah.
So she throws the hat out the window, then the jacket goes. And then Susie's like, what are you doing? And she was like, I just want to get rid of everything that reminds me of this night.
Yeah.
And so they pull the cab over. She takes the skirt off. She is the cutest little like undergarment girdle bathing suit situation.
Love it.
And then takes a branch and starts beating the shit out of the taxi cab.
Look, beat the branch on the ground.
Right.
That taxi driver's going to charge you for that.
Yeah. And I mean, and he said, I
could retire on this fare.
Yeah. And so it's like, you guys don't have any money. So maybe don't do that.
Woof. So she finally she comes down from it a little and they decide to go to the Gaslight because Midge can't go to the apartment yet.
And she doesn't want to go to Queens.
And she doesn't want to go to Queens. And they can't stay at Susie's place because, what is his name?
I think Jackie.
Jackie is there. He's probably putting up crown molding. He has made that little tiny.
So cute.
So cute.
Oh my God. It'd be like $5,000 now to live there.
Can't even imagine. So they end up going to the Gaslight. All of Miriam's bags are all over everywhere. It ends up okay. They they manage and nobody like yells at them or I thought they were going to get in trouble for sleeping there.
But I mean, like Susie basically runs it. So it's like she's got keys.
Yeah. All right.
So
that's fine.
So Midge goes to take a walk because she can't sleep. And then she sees in the newspaper that Shy replaced her with Jack Baldwin, Jack something or other.
Yeah, something like that.
And so she realizes that they knew before her and Susie got to the tarmac that they were replacing her. And Susie's like, how do you know that? She was like, they would have had to let the paper know.
Yesterday.
So she was like, they just wanted to humiliate us. I can't talk today. Apologies.
Can't. That seems so shady. Like so much shadier than I thought they were. Like also, what if Midge had not done that set that was like offensive to Shy? They just would have fired her for nothing?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that there was enough time from the Apollo show to them leaving that he could have decided he didn't want her there. And I mean, because of Shy's behavior in the previous season, like he can do things on a dime. So it might have just been an immediate decision, an immediate phone call. And then Reggie was kind of left being like, I don't know, because I kind of
felt kind of bad about it.
He did come to them, I feel like, with hat in hand and at least feeling somewhat bad about it. So, I mean, it's probably, I feel like Shy would be the one that would have immediately turned off.
Interesting. Yeah, it just does. It sucks really bad that they just like made them come to the tarmac.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's just
to, like,
really.
watch the plane fly away.
Just why rub their face in it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I mean, if I were in Shy's position as well, especially being a gay man of color in the 60s,
50s and 60s.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely feel some type of way being kind of outed.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that her set particularly blew his cover wide enough.
I don't think it blew his cover, mostly just because nobody assumes there's a cover to blow.
Right.
Really? And it was like because it made him look like a sissy.
But I mean, he is a crooner. Like, you know, but I mean, he's still.
Sorry, man. You wear fancy shoes.
And you wear polos and chinos. Like,
everyone can see those things about you. They can see the clothes you're wearing. That doesn't necessarily imply anything. So, I mean.
And he's surrounded by women. Yeah. I mean, so in the public eye, it's all very like Rock Hudson of it all. Yeah. And so I don't know. So, I mean, it was the Judy Garland shoe comment, I guess, that was like particularly bad. And like
it was probably the Judy Garland thing.
And I don't know. He's a crooner.
Yeah.
I would not expect Bing Crosby to punch me in the face. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I feel like they're very even keel, you know, image and talent wise. So
I, though, would expect Frank Sinatra to punch.
Oh, 100%.
And Dean Martin, if we're being honest.
Dean Martin would attempt to, but he would have been too drunk, so it wouldn't have landed.
Would have gone way on the outside.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it's hard to speak to being a black gay man in 1959, 1960. Right. But it also, I do also get Midge's side of it, where she's like, I thought we were friends, because they had that whole nice day on the boat, and then she like rescued him, but she like found him and like found out and sort of like. And I also don't think that there was anything malicious in the set that she did. She wasn't trying to out him.
No.
And it just was sort of like a, you know, I don't know. And the whole episode, she's right. She's like, I fucking killed that set. Like, it was so good. But again, I mean, it's his decision. So it sucks. And for me, the shittiest part is that they made them come to the airport.
Yeah, that's
like with Midge's comically large like pile of bags. Like that's the meanest part, and they didn't even do that part.
And I love that she said that twice now she's been fucked over by a man while looking absolutely fabulous.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah.
It's true. It's true. She stays looking amazing.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, Joel what is his lady friend's name? May, right? Yeah. So, okay. He makes it to the club, and there is a guy standing there waiting, kind of scary and suspicious. Just like a real, like almost looks like he's wearing a zoot suit, but we're 30 years too late. And he is just sort of like standing there, and he ends up going downstairs to the like underground gambling club that is in his own club. And May is there arguing with two people who are 100% her parents and 100% the landlord. So, because she keeps on being like, I never said they were my parents. And he's like, yeah, but I know what parents look like, and this is definitely parents. They basically are mad because Joel's club is too successful to keep the cover for the underground gambling, which I find hilarious. And so basically he's like, well, I'm going to pay you a cut of like my profit, so you'll leave me alone. I don't know where we're going to go with that. He's also still flirting around with May, but they're not doing anything. And the parents / landlords are like, stay away from this man.
Oh, I mean, well, they were all kissy last season.
Did they kiss?
So I think I think they're in a relationship.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's very unclear what we're actually doing.
Well, because she's just so direct and particular, and I think she's not being very lovey-dovey with him, but sure. I mean, they both keep pace, mentally and wit-wise and stuff. So it is a little kind of like, are they, aren't they? Yeah. But they are.
Okay. That's fine. I like it. I think
he's learning Mandarin.
He is learning. He's like, this is my neighborhood now. I'm going to learn.
Yeah, which I kind of love.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
We talked in this episode. We talked while we were watching it. Joel is a lot of things. But I think the thing I like the best about him is it wasn't even all of season 1 did I think he was a total asshole.
Right.
And I don't know if it's just Michael Zegan who is like doing this, or I mean, it has to be the writing too, because the way that his character is like progressing is so fascinating. It is hard for you to be a character who begins a series by cheating on your loving and devoted and like, by all accounts, dynamite in the sack wife. For that to not be like the literal death knell of your character, for me to still enjoy watching you and wanting to know where your character is going and wanting you to like being torn between whether I want you to go back with Midge or be with May, like he and Midge could be good together again. He has grown a lot. I don't think he'd be jealous of her anymore.
Nope.
He is into having his own club. Like, honest to God, he could sincerely like offer her a weekly spot at his club, and I think that they would be fine. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be great. And I don't know, it's just, I think it's Michael Zegan mostly. He's so appealing to me.
He has got big dick energy if ever.
Oh my God, and he's pretty short too. He's like not a huge guy. I don't know. There's something about him. I am like rooting so hard for Joel.
Same.
In a way that like at the beginning of at the end of the first like 2 episodes, I remember being like, no, out with the garbage. And then it's like every subsequent episode, I've liked him more, to the point where now I can understand why Miriam fell in love with him to begin with.
Oh, 100%.
Whereas like at the beginning of the series, I was like, this guy sucks. He's stealing jokes from Johnny Carson. He's not very good. He's not good at delivery. He like can't come up with his own stuff. And like, he's very paranoid and neurotic and all this stuff. And now I'm just sort of like, he's really fallen into himself. Mm-hmm. And he's not letting his parents run roughshod over him, which he kind of was at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And they are good at that.
I just think it's really interesting because I know that I talked about this stuff, I think, with you guys, not on camera, but so I follow this account on Instagram called like the Holistic Therapist or something like that. I can't remember her name. But so they talk about when you were in a relationship and one partner parents the other.
Yeah.
And the partner that is being parented will likely live out their time in that relationship as a normal child would, where they go from being like a kid to being a teenager. And when you are a teenager, you rebel, you act out to find yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's typically when infidelity happens, and that's usually when things fall apart. And it's because the one doing the parenting isn't letting that partner figure it out themselves within the relationship. So I think a lot of what Miriam and Joel were experiencing was that, because Miriam,
parenting him.
She did fucking everything, down to making a brisket to take to the gaslight to make sure that Joel could have the right spot. So, and because Joel has now found himself, and he also found himself without Penny, and when he realized the mistake that he made and that he was better with Miriam,
Penny Pan.
With her fucking pencil sharpener. It's interesting because I think I very much agree with you. I think they would be really good together, but I think that they both needed to figure out who they were outside of this relationship.
Well, and because that's the thing too, is like now Joel has been fending for himself for quite a while, actually raising the kids. Like, you know, they obviously have help from both sets of their parents now too, but it's like they've been, he's been having to feed himself. He has to cook. He can't order in, get takeout every night. So he's been cooking for himself. He's been raising the kids. He's been doing all, making sure his clothes are clean, his apartment's clean, all this stuff. He's getting himself an apartment so he doesn't have to keep living in the clothing
and the warehouse.
Business warehouse. Yeah.
Well, and also finding a passion or a job that is not aligned or attached to family.
Exactly. 100%.
Because the plastics job was through his uncle.
Yep.
The warehouse or the dress business or whatever it is through his dad. Yeah. So while he is still working with the dress business, he is now becoming a successful club owner. Yep. So then eventually he will be able to divorce himself from the family business.
Exactly. And I think that's all super important. And similarly with Midge, she was content to just be a housewife until he blew up their life. And that was the only thing that I think she would have just stayed. She would have done it forever.
Yep.
And I don't think she would have felt necessarily unfulfilled because she was fulfilled. She didn't feel the unfulfillment until something filled the space.
Right. Well, because I think that they had enough money, so that she could do other things to fill that hole that she didn't realize that she had. Because you don't realize you're unfulfilled until you're standing still and you can't fill that space with something else. So she didn't have the money to buy the Chanel and the Dior anymore, so she didn't have anything to keep herself busy.
Yep.
So she could entertain and all of that stuff. So she was effectively performing for others when, but in a way that wasn't authentic to herself.
Exactly. And so I don't know. I just really like that. I thought we needed to do a minute on Joel since this is our first time we're talking about it. They're never going to not be in each other's lives. They have kids together and their parents are living together. So I don't know. I'm really into it. I also think Kevin Pollak is just the best as Moish.
He really is.
Because Shirley legitimately annoys me a little. She's too much, way too much. But Moish is just kind of perfect.
I think Shirley, though, she drives me insane, but I know that as 100% on purpose.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I know Shirley.
Yeah.
I have some friends with Shirley as their mom.
Okay. All right.
So I 100% get it.
Yeah. So, okay, that basically brings us, I guess we've changed Ethan's birthday. So because it's in June.
It's in November, and apparently the date of his birthday in November didn't work for anybody.
That was going to be really inconvenient for everybody, so they just changed it. And apparently they changed Midge's brother's birthday a couple times too. So that's sort of the crux of the whole episode as they make it to Coney Island, and Midge goes there too to basically tell them all that she got fired, but she waits until they're all on the Wonder Wheel in different cars.
And they're all just screaming at each other.
Super funny.
So funny. And I just need to take a second just because the entire time we're in Coney Island, the coloration of this show makes my eyeballs fall out. And I know that that's probably not the correct term to call it. But especially when they're at Coney Island, the colors of everything, the lipstick, the outfits, the paint on the Wonder Wheel itself, it is just so delicious and beautiful. Yeah. And I want my real life eyeballs to do that. So on Instagram and when I take pictures, I live in the Vivid filter and I just want my eyeballs to do that themselves.
Be the Vivid filter.
Because I feel like this is the Vivid filter as well.
Interesting. I got it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like candy. I want to eat it.
So
anyway, back to the fighting in the Wonder Wheel.
It basically comes out that Midge tried to buy back her apartment from Moish. And we know she doesn't know. I don't know that. I wonder if she'll find out. She doesn't know. But basically now she doesn't have any money because
Susie gambled all of it.
Well, not even that. She doesn't have the collateral that she promised Moish because he loaned her money. And so basically Joel is very you borrowed money from my father. What the fuck? And Moish is very offended by that. It's all amazing. But basically we find that out. And that is how Susie does get the money. Is Joel is I'm going to give you this money because I don't want Midge to be beholden to my father. And then you're going to tell me everything that happened to Midge's money. And then we'll go from there. And so presumably she does. We don't see it. But then she does give Midge the check at the very end of the episode. It's very quiet. There's not a lot made about it. So I can only imagine that we're coming back to that.
Yeah. And later. Susie tried to initially get money from the insurance check because her and Tess burnt down their house. and they went into a really scary interrogation room.
Yeah.
And methinks that they're not going to get that money very quickly or very easily.
Not very quickly. It depends on how easily Tessie can seduce Mr. B, the insurance claims guy. That'll be interesting. And then also, Susie met a guy named Alfie at the bar, played by Gideon Glick. That was weird. Okay, Amy Sherman Palladino is known to do that. There is a character on Gilmore Girls that is he's called the Town Troubadour. He just walks through town playing songs on his guitar.
Interesting.
It's very charming. It makes sense. It's
Is he magic, this troubadour?
Sort of.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's sort of like, where does he go when you don't see him? And it's like, who knows?
I liked it when he was dropping the little like knowledge nuggets on her. So
I don't like when he sent her to an actual place. That was weird.
That I didn't like because, you know, sure, you know, he's clairvoyant. So he knows these things, whatever. That's fine. But then when he snaps his fingers and she's all of a sudden in a forest with a deer?
Yeah, weird. And then somehow while she was in the forest with the deer, she bought him a drink. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's bizarre. I will see if that continues happening. I feel like he's got to be there for a purpose because I feel like I remember hearing that he was joining the cast.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm sure that we'll figure something out about that. I'm just very curious what's happening.
Oh, Midge decides that she's just going to say whatever the fuck she wants in her act now.
Not necessarily the right move based on what just happened.
Yeah.
But I get it. Susie is very like, I mean, I'll try, but like people are not going to let you open for them.
And Midge is like, fine, I don't want to open for anyone. I want it to just be me. I want to be Lenny Bruce. All right, because Susie was like, you're not Lenny Bruce. And she was like, make me Lenny Bruce. Which I kind of love.
No, I love the energy, but it's sort of like you're putting too much on Susie. That's like hard to do. So, I mean,
unless she finds a club where she can have a residency, you know what I mean?
Which is where, in my opinion, Joel's Club comes in.
Yes.
Now that it's like ultra popular.
Well, and why can't she have residency at the Gaslight?
She kind of does already.
Yeah. So it's like, why not make that a bigger thing? Advertise that there. Is it just because it's in the Village?
I don't know, maybe. And also, because I think there's like a whole thing with like the neighborhoods in this time, especially where like, I am going to say something that's gross because it was gross when it happened. I think that people kind of like the novelty of going to Chinatown.
Oh, yeah.
Like the white people like the like novelty of going to Chinatown. So I think Joel's Club is going to be more popular than the Gaslight. So I think if she were going, because like he said, he's already making a profit, I think.
Right. Well, and the Village is for the poets and the artists, and, you know, we don't make money.
Right.
So, yeah, but I mean, yeah, no, you're right. That's, I mean, with the cultural tourism of it all.
Like the fancy Maisel people from the Upper East Side are going to be going to Chinatown to like have an adventure.
Well, and because like Chinese food and Chinese culture was extremely popular in the 50s. So, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that is my prediction, is that eventually she's either going to ask or he's going to offer one or the other. And I think either one is great.
Yeah. And I mean, because she reads her receipt effectively when she's like, the Sophie show, even though it was like, yeah, it was great. You know, when she does effectively her first set after Joel breaks up with her and she whips her tits out, it was great. It was shocking, but it was great. So every single time, and then the Apollo, you know, it was shocking, but it was great and it was epic. So
it also wasn't even that shocking. It was only shocking to like Shy and Reggie.
Right.
It wasn't actually shocking to the audience. They just straight up loved it.
Right.
So.
Right. But I mean, a white woman
at
comic
Apollo,
slaying at the Apollo, I mean, is great.
Yeah.
So I like, she's got the shit to back it up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and there are shock comics for a reason.
Yep.
So why can't she be a shock comic?
Lenny Bruce is not one.
Right.
In the moment. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm into it. I'm into it, but I'm nervous.
Well, so she's kind of doing... We start the show and we end the show with her doing a set about revenge, where this is basically like one of the first pieces that she does, where it's just right off the dome. I loved that, you could see there was a difference. She seemed more relaxed. She was more, she was more in her body because, you know, not for nothing, she's entertaining, but she can grate my nerves a little bit because everything is so very tight and, you know, all that, and it's very like this. And this is very fluid. You know, while it is shocking and she's saying some things that are a little tough to hear, but it seems so much more organic. And I feel like it landed so much more rather than the room service jokes that she referenced. So I'm excited to see more of the comedy because I feel like it's going to get really good, but we're going to hear some things that are going to, I feel like my skin's going to itch. I'm going to be embarrassed.
I can already feel the secondhand embarrassment.
I don't like it.
No. Yeah, so that's basically it for this episode.
I feel like the first episodes, we always end up talking so much longer because it's just like, we got to catch up.
Trying to pull it all in there. So I guess a couple of things I'm waiting for this season is like some stuff with Joel and Midge about the club and the comedy. And then I want to know what, if any, kind of repercussions are going to happen with Susie.
Yeah.
Like, what is, like, because I feel like that Midge might fire her.
But we already did that, though, with not firing, but like with them having issues when Susie took on Sophie. And I don't like when they're fighting. And I
don't like when they're fighting either, but I feel like that, I mean, I guess she got the money back, but she got the money from Joel. So it's like, then is Susie going to give the insurance money to Joel?
One would hope.
I don't know.
They're just so integral together. Yeah. So I don't want them to separate.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would hope that at least Midge would be like, well, you fucked me over, but I guess thanks for like kind of fixing it.
Worked out.
Like realizing you had the issue, because if it had well, and I really hope it doesn't continue, but if the gambling stops, then at least she figured out she had a problem and she went to someone that she knew could help and fix it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, we will be back with episode 2 shortly.
Bye.
Bye.